This is the Everyday Hustle Show, where our number one priority is self-development.
Each week, we will dive into insightful topics that encourage you to push your thinking beyond average.
Smash that subscribe button and tune in every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Go, dude.
It's a goat, dude.
It sounds like...
Welcome everyone to the 58th recorded episode.
Oh,
coming to you hot and heavy from Lake Worth, Florida.
whoa.
Is that where we are?
Dude, that's where we're freaking at right now.
We're in West Lake Worth / Wellington / Green Acres / coming at you from northeast, west, north, south, east corner of Palm Beach County. What's up?
Northeast west. How does one get in northeast west at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
Jess,
Dude.
how does one do that?
Not quite sure of the logistics, but here we are.
It's possible.
We're coming off a super exciting episode. We want to just say thank you to Ryan last week. We had a really good episode. I got some good personal feedback on the topics and everything that we discussed. I just want to say thank you to Jesse for not being here.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And yeah, let's set this thing off, man. We got a problem solution here. So Jesse, what's your problem for the week?
Yeah, dude. What the heck's your problem, bro?
Problem. I don't know.
No problems. It was a good week.
No problems, Sid.
No problems at all.
No.
All right, well, Jesse has no problem, dude.
I don't have any problems.
Drew, what's your problem?
All right, fellas, here we go. This thing on? So, was one of my problems operating on little to no sleep?
No,
Okay, so that's my problem.
I don't think so.
So, yeah, Jen's probably operating on less than I am, but, with a new baby and everything, just getting used to, operating at like 40% brain capacity, and that's kind of like where I've been for like the past like 2 weeks or so. So it's hard, it's like, I'm like always like, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm always like ripping and running, and I'm always fucking charging it,
Just charging it?
just fucking straight charging it, and I just don't feel like that right now. And it's
slumping.
Yeah. So, it's taken a little bit of getting used to, and it's okay. 'Cause I'm fine with it. I'm learning and adapting and changing and growing. And you can't ever die or get hurt from not having enough sleep. So the solution is don't be a little bitch and just keep on fucking trucking, brothers.
Just keep on going.
That's it.
That's it.
Drop the mic.
All right. My problem for the week. Shit, I don't even think I have any problems this week. No, I mean, the only thing I can think of is work. Work was, there was a situation at work that wasn't exactly the funnest or the easiest or the most routine, but I guess the solution is to just not, basically just not give up, contact however many people I need to contact. Which I did, and just don't leave until you kind of are satisfied with the job that you did. And then another, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, one I probably should have used was like 3 days ago, our garbage disposal went out and called.
If that goes out, can you still use the sink?
No, because when it goes out, it actually leaks out of the bottom of the garbage disposal. So I reached out to our boy.
Nicholas Keith Kowalski?
Yes, sir. Reached out to our boy.
Shout out to Nicholas Keith Kowalski, man. He called me the other day. I haven't called him back. I'm like, that's another thing, dude. I just been so bad with calling people back.
Dude, so I hit him up. He gave me the 401, FaceTime me, showed me kind of how to like remove it. And it took me a little bit longer than I expected, but was able to replace that. And so, that's the solution. Just reach out, call whoever you need to call, look, research, Google.
Ask for help, my dude.
Ask for help.
Yeah, that's always been a constant theme on our show.
Big time. Big time. So we're getting into the first topic.
Let's dive in. Let's do it.
So first topic that's been really, really big for me is, and it's actually kind of like a two-part thing. We've talked about gratitude in the past, but
Part 1.
but the combination of gratitude, perspective, and resilience. So the main, I guess, concept is resilience for me, and like that's kind of
Why don't you go ahead and break this down for the listeners and maybe define it, because we had to, well, maybe not we, but I was like, well, what's the actual definition of it?
So I'm not going to try to give the exact one from Google, but the definition of resilience to me is basically not giving up. So like having the mental toughness to kind of get through shit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's nothing wrong with reading the definition from Google.
No, nothing wrong. I'm saying I'm not going to try to like say it word for word without looking at it.
You wanted to give your interpretation.
Yeah. You're going to look it up?
It was in the chat, so I was just trying to go back, but
Did you just try to say fuck Google?
Dude, never. You got to stay with Google. Got to support Google. But
the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness.
yeah.
The ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape.
It's like my
Elasticity. G-rated here. We're
G-rated show, dude.
Are we?
Well,
Come
not
on.
really.
Yeah, so it's just, so basically it's kind of like, so to me, how I interpret it is anytime I have like a bad day or whatever the case is, I'm feeling like, maybe I should be further along, or like I should be better by this point, or yada, 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 or looking over the fence to see, it's greener on that side. When I get in those moments to kind of have like the, not necessarily mental toughness, but just to have like the mindset of like having enough gratitude to basically say, okay, like I may feel like this now, but give it a couple hours, do something now or whatever, and then the whole thing could change. And looking back, it typically does. And like one big thing for me, like honestly, is that's been really, really huge is the concept of like thinking about, like, just to use an extreme, think about your deathbed, right? So like you're on your deathbed and like looking back, obviously it's kind of cliche or whatever, but like whatever you're going through, like now, maybe you're not happy with your job, your relationship, friends, whatever the case is, when you have like the perspective of like being as an alternative to where you're at now on your deathbed, probably 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be like, if you were out on your deathbed, you probably would be able to look back at the point you're at now and be like, fuck, man, I wish I could go back to that point. So to have like that perspective and to have like the gratitude enough. And I mean, to be honest, I don't really ever have like bad days. I have like a lot of bad moments, I'm saying, like I'm human, but I think it's just so easy for me now to have that, like that bounce back that it talks about in the definition. And that's, to me, is all due to like, gratitude, perspective, and resilience, and who I surround myself with and what I choose to like listen to and shit on a daily basis. So
Jesse's got a great story of resilience recently with his work life.
What you got, dude?
Do I?
Yeah, dude. You were all like, oh, I don't want to do this new position, this new location, blah, blah, blah. And now you're loving it and you're killing it, dude.
Sort of, yeah.
Don't be freaking modest, dude.
Don't be modest, bro.
Tell the freaking people what's going on with ya.
No, so I don't really want to talk about
People
that.
want to know. The people gotta hear ya.
TBD, dude.
What's that?
To be determined.
Oh shit.
How I feel.
Okay. So then Drew, what's your take on the topic?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep this freaking short and to the point here.
Keep it to the freaking point, brother.
I want to find the definition again.
Something about bouncing back.
The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. Yes. So when I read that out loud, what I think about is adapting and changing to life's. Right, Jess?
Yeah. Lives.
Because life's would be like, life's is like my life's exclamation point, where lives would be like multiple people, right?
lives.
Sounds right.
Lives.
Right.
So life's challenges and changes, how you how you adapt and how you look at them. And yeah, you're right. And I mean, it is about perspective. But really, it's a good topic, and I think that more people need to realize that not everything that happens in life is going to go your way. Really, 90% of it's not going to go your way. It never is going to go the way that you planned it to or the way that you want it to. But in my experience, it always goes the way that it's supposed to go.
Yeah, and you're in that situation now.
With
right?
what
With
area?
Like, just like work and, Jen is, home with the baby for like 3 months, so.
Yeah, it's definitely, a trying time.
Yeah.
We, have, a set amount of money saved up and, money's going out.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money's coming in, and it's, the pressure is on to perform and I like, thrive in it, and I'm enjoying it. Because I just know that from everything that's happened in my life, like nothing bad is going to happen. Yeah. Unless I make it.
Right. Unless you have a bad attitude and.
Yeah, like I could miss a car payment or something like that. Like the world's not gonna freaking crumble down, and they're not gonna come with the tow truck after, I missed a car payment or something like that. No, if you miss like 3 or 4, I mean, they might come knocking on the door. No, but it's just about having faith in the process and just staying, motivated to move forward, and really just always just staying positive, because, could always be worse.
Always. Yeah.
I always say that to people when they ask me, well, a while back, my whole thing used to be like, it's the best day ever, it's the best day of my life, and that kind of faded out,
it's kind of hard to have the best day every day.
Yeah. So now it's just like, the way I look at it is, people ask me, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? It's like, look, I got a job. Yeah. I have a house, a beautiful relationship, healthy family, everything else is just like icing on that cake. Right. Yeah. On that cake of life. You know what I'm saying, Jess? Everything is just, and that goes back to perspective. Yeah. Gratitude, how you look at it. Are you grateful for what you have, or are you focusing on the things you don't have? The more you focus on the things that you don't have, and the more you compare yourself to others, the more you count other people's money, the more you, compare yourself, you're just setting yourself up for negativity.
Big time. Yeah, I was actually watching, me and Kelly were watching not Harry Potter, but the newest one, the Fantastic Beasts. She loves Harry Potter. I do too, actually. But so the Fantastic.
What's it called? Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Where to find them, or something like that.
So it's the first one. It's not
never seen that.
Dude, it's good. Yeah. Well, if you're into it, but
it's a Harry Potter spinoff.
Yeah. Well, it's in the same universe, so it's like Dumbledore's like nephew or something. But at one point in the movie, he says something. I looked at Kelly. I'm like, damn, that's fucking deep. He said they were like going through some issue, and he's like. The lady was worrying about something. He said, "Why would you do that? Worrying is suffering twice, because not only are you like, putting yourself in that like mental like anxious state now before anything happens, but then if it actually does happen, then you're really gonna go through it." So it was kind of just like crazy to think about, like worrying is making yourself suffer potentially twice, if not at least once, for no reason. Right. And obviously easier said than done, but like to the point that we're talking about now.
Yeah. And also like I already see like, so the reason why I know that everything is going to be okay too is because there are things happening in my life now that aren't like instant gratification things. They're not like, oh, like I just did this and I made $5,000 and everything's going to be great. But there are like little things happening in my life, like kind of like foreshadowing, right? That like, I just know that if I stay on the path that I'm on, like it's going to be a great year.
It's going to compound on it.
It's going to be a great year. Yeah. So it's all about just like putting forth the effort to make sure your current situation and doing everything that you can possibly do to make the best out of every day, take every opportunity you have, like I'll give you an example. Like I was fired up the other day, and I shout out to Dennis. I called Dennis because like, you know, Dennis has been a good friend of mine for a very long time, and like he's a great salesperson, you know. And anytime I have a good sales interaction with someone, I guess you could say, or transaction, I like call him and I'm like, I tell him about it because it gets me excited, you know. So like this guy came into the juice bar and he wanted to sell some kind of snacks or something like that. He had a little coconut something. It was almost like a macaroon, but like it was like coconut oil, coconut flakes, like cacao powder, into these little, like, not pastries, but like it's like a little hard, dense, almost like a candy, like you know the Ferrero Rochers.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
that size, that kind of texture looking, but like healthy, like dense, like a healthy snack. And I was like, look, I love the product. You know, he gave me samples. I was like, I love the product. I think the people in here would enjoy it as well. But right now, I'm not in a position to pay you the money up front to have the product on the shelf and then risk having the product not sell.
Right.
So I said, what we can do is if you'd like, and he's saying, oh, I come from Jupiter. It's a 50-piece minimum order, which is like somewhere in between $200 and $300. Not an extreme amount of money, but for a small business, it's like, I don't want to put that exposure out for myself. So I said, look, if you want to bring the product in, sit it here, you know, and put me on like a net 7 or a net 14, and I'll pay you when the product sells. You know, like if you're that confident in your people loving your product.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll see you next week. I'll bring the pieces in, and you write me a check in 2 weeks, and when it sells, and then I'll bring you another shipment.
Wow.
Like he's that confident in himself. And I was, you know, like, I'm just like taking kind of a different approach at people because everybody's trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, dude, if you're that confident that your shit's going to sell, put it in here. I'm not paying you.
Right.
I'll pay you when the people buy the product.
Yeah.
If you're that confident, you know, and it worked, you know, and like, you don't really, like, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, normally it's not like that.
Right.
You just think, okay, somebody comes, they're selling something, you write them a check and you get the product. But like, I've just been getting more creative, and it's just like little things like that I could see, like interpersonal growth, you know, and also just handling clients with my other business, my photo video business. You know, this year I've already generated probably more revenue in the first month than I have all year last year. So like, I'm off to like a jumping start. You know, I did my biggest video production ever. Filmed it last week. I'm going to be editing it this week. You know, while I was there, the guys were so excited on how we were interacting, and, you know, that they wanted me to do headshots. So like a big job turned into a bigger job, like on the spot, you know, and like, it's just about how you carry yourself, you know, and how you present yourself and how you talk to people. And, you know, if you're just honest and forthcoming, like, people sense that and they want to do more business with you.
Yeah, they feel more comfortable. And
so it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like situations like that in the juice bar, then situations like that in the photo video business that I'm working on building this year, give me the peace of mind to know that everything's going to be okay in every other aspect if I just keep doing what I'm doing, and that if I start thinking, oh, I'm going to fail and I'm going to, you know, shit the bed and I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't even, that those thoughts don't even come into my head anymore. It's just like, I'm fucking gonna crush this year. Like, this year's gonna be like killer, you know?
just having faith in the process.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big point, is like the whole idea of like, you never know what could happen by just asking for it. You know, like the whole situation with the guy who came in, like some people I think are like really afraid to like ask a question because they feel like, oh, that'll never happen. Like that person will never.
Right. They project the future.
Right. They're afraid, or, you know, whatever the case is. And it's just crazy. Like all the stories, like all the successful stories, especially, have you definitely heard of Alex Banayan or something like that? The guy who wrote the third book. He was like a 18-year-old kid, went on like The Price is Right. He had like a crazy story. He was on Tim Ferriss, and
I think it's
So his
The Price is Right story is ringing a bell.
Yeah, so his whole thing is like, you know, he literally, like, all his interviews that he got with everybody, like all the big time people, all happened on like this crazy like adventure, like Larry King, for example. He like met him at a grocery store, and tracked him down, like yelled his name. Like it's just kind of like it makes it a little bit more exciting when you know that it's okay to ask. It's okay to not be afraid to kind of like
because you learn the worst that's going to happen is you're going to get told no. And the funny thing is that after I had that interaction with the guy about the food, I tried it on another guy, and it didn't work.
Yeah,
and I was just like, okay. Some guy wanted to sell me a rewards program for the juice bar where like it was another tablet in addition to what we already had inside of the store, and you put your phone number in, it tracks your rewards. It's $200 something to sign up, $220 a month after that. And I'm like, dude, I'll pay the setup fee. Give me the first like month or two free. You're so confident that your program will bring more customers. Let's fucking do it. And he's like, oh, well, my manager said that I can't do that. There's too much risk involved. Okay. Well, I appreciate your time, my brother. Have a great day.
Yeah.
If your product is that great, you will find someone who's at a position where they'll be able to buy it.
Right.
But I'm not. Jesse, I know that you have a certain situation, maybe in your jet ski career, that you can talk about resilience. Like, and right away, what comes to mind is surf riding, my dude. Because like first couple times you went dude. The first couple times you went into the ocean, you were like, dude, like this isn't for me.
Well, no, it's just because
now I can't keep you away.
I'm a fat piece of shit, and I'm really out of shape. Still out of shape.
Okay.
But I keep doing it, and everyone just keeps telling me to keep doing it. It's getting easier. It's getting easier,
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything crazy, but I like it.
That's the thing is that people in life want to just try something once or twice and then give up.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it? I mean,
such a bitch mentality, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's human nature, some shit you just want it to be fun and not really have to go through like work in order to enjoy fun.
I think that's the majority of people.
Especially something like that where like at first it was like it's the most fun thing ever, like on flat water, and then you go into that situation, and for me it was like I was out of shape. So when I do it, it's like I have some now here. There's something that I really love, but in a certain atmosphere, like riding in the ocean, I would just get my ass whooped. So it's like now you're making something that I like not fun anymore. But over time and practice, it's fun.
If anybody wants to see Jesse's very first ride on a stand-up jet ski, just go to youtube.com and type in Kawasaki 550 in the search bar. And the very first video that you're going to see is a video that I made, over 15,000 views.
Really?
Really?
And you can see Jesse on a Kawasaki, in brand new 1987 Kawasaki 550. You can see him out there
might post that video from today. Might get 15,000 views.
Might. Basically, it's Jesse getting on his knees and then plopping over, getting on his feet and then plopping over.
Yeah.
So if you look at that compared to where you're at now, you've made leaps and bounds of improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes
made
time.
Made a lot of friends too. I like it.
Yeah, Jesse's about to stop hanging out with us. That's it.
Yeah.
If we don't ride, that's it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately sunk my entire jet ski and it stayed in the ocean overnight, smashed against the rocks, and I thought I was never going to see it again. And then a bunch of guys pulled it out in the bottom of the ocean floor without me while I was at work, and took it all apart without me while I was at work, and I was able to, get the motor and bring it to the shop and all that shit. But like someone who wasn't resilient would just take that situation and be like, I'm done with this sport. But not me, my brothers and sisters. I'm gonna slap that puppy back together. I'll be flying sky high in no time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's I mean, people that just like think it's gonna happen overnight is just it doesn't make me mad. It's just like, okay, well, if you don't love it enough, you're not gonna do it. And
Yeah, exactly.
to expect that it's gonna happen, to expect that everyone who does it, who's good at whatever it is that you like, to think that they did it overnight is like
It's like musical instruments
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Everybody wants. I'm sure everybody in the world would love to be able to play a musical instrument, but there's not that many people that are really willing to work enough in order to fucking be half good at it.
All right, Jesse. So why don't you give the listeners 3 key takeaways from this episode that they can apply to their life to make massive changes?
Oh my god!
Ready? Hit them with it. The first one.
Be resilient. Don't be a
Oh.
piece of shit.
Okay.
Okay, that's acceptable.
All right. What else?
What else? Don't sink your jet ski in the ocean.
I literally knew you were gonna say that.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. Maybe you have a jet ski. Maybe you don't. But
Metaphorically,
what
don't
else?
sink it.
metaphoric. Don't sink your metaphoric jet ski.
Yeah.
Don't give up on your metaphoric hobbies. Okay. And number 3.
My mind is currently stuck on brown is down, even though that makes no sense.
It rhymes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down with Browntown, but brown is down.
All right. Well,
All right. And on that note, hey, Christian, drop that Nimbus cloud. This episode is brought to you by D Squared Media. D Squared Media specializes in branding, design, web development, and internet marketing.
goddamn.
Search engine optimization and pay-per-click. Business cards, logo designs, a revamped website, and getting on Google with SEO are a few examples of what D Squared Media can do for you.
That's a lot of shit.
Check out our website, theeverydayhustleshow.com, completely redesigned by them. AndrewNice.com, completely redesigned by Danny and his team. Grab a t-shirt while you're there. Maybe a mug or a poster for your girl.
Drink some damn coffee in the mug, man. Put some coffee in the mug.
Reach out to Danny and his team at dsquaredmedia.net. 10% off your total project with the code EDH. Thank you, Danny, for your support. We appreciate you greatly. Thank you, Abel Delgado, for the beat.
Yeah.
You're a freaking genius.
Yeah.
And all the listeners out there, we love you. We respect you. We want you to keep moving forward. Share the podcast with one friend. Please, we beg you, but not like peasants.
Yeah. No presents.
We beg you, but not like peasants.
Subscribe to the podcast. Leave a comment. Leave a rating. Leave a like. Leave a share. Comment. Pass it on. And we'll see you next week.